Welcome to the He's Got Issues Marvel Comics edition number 170.1. I'm John Cooney here to preview new Marvel Comics being released April 22nd, 2015, beginning alphabetically with all new X-Men number 40. Who are the Utopians, and what secret do they hold that pertains to the future of mutant kind? The all-new X-Men may regret finding out. Okay, this news broke after my initial recording, but this issue also exposes Iceman as gay. Leaked pages from the issue began circulating Tuesday with Jean outing him. Bendis responded on Twitter, quote, "I swear on my dogs I wanted the issue to come out and just be. No press, no sensational headlines, no leaks. Oh well," close quote. Subsequently, in a statement to the press, Bendis said, quote, "There are thousands, if not millions, of stories of people who, for many different reasons, felt the need to hide their sexuality. The X-Men, with the concept of time travel, give us a fascinating platform in which to examine such personal journeys. This is just the first little chapter of a much larger story that will be told," close quote. Marvel Editor-in-Chief Axel Alonso discussed the issue, quote, "Well, Brian wrote it into the script. He's been teasing it for a while. He sent it in to his editor, who in turn sent it to me, and we started a discussion. It was our subsequent conversation about what the next story would be that really sold me. This is a character with decades of history and one who we've seen falter on the romantic stage more than once, so the seeds were always there. We look at this as being one shading of who he is. I think, personally, this is going to deepen the character and humanize him even further and make for fascinating stories. By that, I am not saying you are not going to recognize Bobby Drake anymore. If you are a fan of Bobby Drake before, if you cared about him, I think this will draw you closer to the character, not push you away from him," close quote. As for the juxtaposition of the time-displaced character with the heretofore straight older self, Alonso said, quote, "We would be foolish not to deal with that. That was the second part of my conversation with Brian. Time travel gave us a platform to discover the journeys of the young characters. The obvious question is that once the young Bobby Drake has accepted and embraced who he is, what are the ramifications for his adult counterpart? It's safe to say that will be dealt with," close quote. Next, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 17.1. Who heeds the Hammerhead? Not Spidey, apparently. The criminal underworld of New York City is on fire, and Spidey and the Wraith hope to contain it. Tough luck, you two. We've also got Amazing X-Men number 19. Has the Juggernaut returned? Is this the last stand of Colossus? Next, we have Avengers Millennium number 404. At a secret Hydra installation hidden away in rural Japan, the Avengers discover a time portal that sends them on an adventure that spans millennia. But what kind of bad guys have a time machine that they don't use to change the past? Bad guys who know they win. The only thing standing between our immutable past and our wasted, ruined future are the Avengers, finally reunited to battle a doomsday weapon thousands of years in the hatching. We've also got Avengers Operation Hydra number 1. Before summer's blockbuster film, join the Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and the Hulk as they set off on an all-new adventure against a secret Hydra splinter cell. Black Widow's discovered a startling development, but what exactly is Hydra up to? It'll take teamwork to topple Hydra's latest plot, but only one Avenger has the skill needed to save the day. Plus, reprinting Avengers number 16, presenting a story that brought Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch onto the team for the first time. Plus, this cover will be featured as an Avengers coloring poster. Next, we have Avengers World number 20, The Fall of the Avengers, Namor's Fury Unleashed, The Cabal Rises, No World is Safe. We've also got Black Widow number 17, The Spy Who Came In from the Cold. Natasha has been invited to see the beast from within. Will she accept? Past and present collide as both young and current Natasha decide who controls the future. Next, we have Guardians of the Galaxy number 26. It seems like the Guardians have forgotten something in all the cosmic craziness that's been going on. Oh, that's right. Peter got elected president of Spartax. Wait, what? Looks like he's done a great job of escaping his father's legacy. Guess he can even screw that up. We've also got Guardians of the Galaxy and the X-Men, The Black Vortex Omega number 1. The Black Vortex ends here, when an entire planet and potentially the entire galaxy is caught in the crosshairs of Knife's cosmically empowered forces. The Guardians and the X-Men face their final test. With billions of lives at stake, our heroes are forced to make the ultimate sacrifice. But in gaining the power to potentially defeat Knife by submitting to the Black Vortex, could they have given up their humanity forever? Next, we have Hulk number 15. The battle between Doc Green and Red Hulk changes the Marvel Universe forever. Doc Green and Red Hulk's grudge match breaks a few things. Doc Green proves once and for all science is difficult, even for the smartest of us. The U.S. military makes a surprising change to their Gamma Monster policy. We've also got Inhuman Special #1, Inhuman Era continues. The story linking Amazing Spider-Man, Inhuman, and all-new Captain America hits a fever pitch as a character who's been around for more than 75 years returns to threaten the Marvel Universe. You haven't seen all the effects of the Terrigen Cloud yet, and this one is about to destroy New York City. Next, we have Marvel Universe Guardians of the Galaxy #3 of 4. Based on the hit new TV series, follow the further adventures of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Learn more about the most dangerous heroes in the galaxy, continuing the adaptation of the red-hot animated shorts. We've also got Star Wars #4, the greatest space adventure of all time continues. Luke Skywalker is not a Jedi, not yet at least. He's only ever met one Jedi in his life, and he died, so Luke's quest leads him back to Obi-Wan's hut on Tatooine. Next, we have True Believers. What can you get for $1? How about the Marvel Universe? Marvel is proud to present True Believers, special introductory comics for the low price of only $1 each. Coming this April, your window into the biggest stories in Marvel history costs only $1. Enter the world of Civil War, Age of Apocalypse, Old Man Logan, Planet Hulk, the critically acclaimed Icon series Powers, and many more with the first chapter of these top-selling critically acclaimed collections. Just in time for Secret Wars, maybe you've heard of it, Secret Wars, the biggest Marvel event ever. Catch up on some of the most celebrated stories in Marvel histories before their appearance in the biggest comic event of 2015. This week we have True Believers Armor Wars #1, reprinting material from Iron Man #225, and True Believers Infinity Gauntlet #1, reprinting material from Infinity Gauntlet #1. We've also got Unbeatable Squirrel Girl #4. The final showdown between Galactus and Squirrel Girl is here. It's the Power Cosmic versus the Power Chestnut. Who will win? Also, Squirrel Girl is late for class, so there's 2 disasters coming. And we've got Wolverines #15. Deken is tracking down the monster who stole his healing factor, Siphon, through the mountains of Japan, and in this tracking starts to come into his own. Incapacitated but not alone, he encounters the Ghost Samurai. Will X-23 help Deken's new mission or impede it? Out in trades this week, we've got Hulk Future Imperfect trade paperback new printing. The Hulk has seen the future, and it is murder. Beloved Hulk writer Peter David brings readers 2 classic dystopian tales of earth-shaking impact. Both stories find the Hulk at the end of the earth and at the end of his rope. In Future Imperfect, the Hulk is the last superpower in the post-apocalyptic Earth, ruling with an iron fist as the wicked maestro. But summoned from the past by a small band of rebels is perhaps the only being who can stand against him, and in the end, the green-skinned Titan walks alone through the wasted and barren land and must confront the one who is easily his ultimate nemesis. These 2 tales of the end times surely rank among the classics in Marvel history. Next, we have Loki, Agent of Asgard, Volume 2, I Cannot Tell a Lie trade paperback. Access tie-in. Loki faces his greatest challenge yet, Doctor Doom. But with Valeria Richards in the mix, who is the hero of this story and who is the villain? Loki learns that Doom has sentenced him to death for the crimes of his future self, but with the Red Skull drowning Doom, Latveria, and the entire world in a wave of telepathic hate, will there even be a future left to save? And when the events of Axis invert Loki, he begins a noble quest for truth, justice, and the Asgardian way, which pits him against the Enchantress Lorelei and the brutish Thor, god of evil. Loki's inversion has another side effect, one that looks like it will stick around. The god of lies can now only ever speak the truth. This might not go so well. Collecting Loki, Agent of Asgard, #6 through 11. We've also got Spider-Man, the Complete Alien Costume Saga Volume 2 trade paperback. Spider-Man's greatest fashion disaster continues. With his symbiotic black costume safely removed and imprisoned for study, Spidey redons the classic red and blues to battle fearsome foes, including Hobgoblin, Silvermane, and the Kingpin. And when the Black Cat whips him up a homemade version of his ebony ensemble, Spider-Man can embrace a modern look that only looks killer. But while Peter thinks he's done with his rather clingy former suit, the sinister symbiote isn't finished with him. And when it escapes and seeks out its former hosts, Spidey's going to have to do some quick thinking in order to avoid becoming a permanent part of the alien duds. Guest starring the Human Torch, Thor, and the X-Men. Collects Marvel Team-Up #146 to 150, Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man #96 through 100, and the annual #4, Amazing Spider-Man 259 to 263, and Web of Spider-Man #1. Next, we have Superior Iron Man Volume 1 Infamous Hardcover Premiere Edition. How much would you pay for perfection, beauty, immortality? Tony Stark knows, and he's ready to give it to you, but at a terrible price. The Access effect has changed Tony. He's more stylish, more confident, and more cunning than ever before. and he's ready to lead San Francisco into the future, but the first step is to release extremists upon the entire city. Daredevil isn't down with Stark's new vision of the future, but can the man without fear lead the rebellion against the superior Iron Man? How far will Tony go to keep the secret of his success private? As Tony's actions become more questionable, who will conspire to take him down? Has his negligence bred monsters? And will those monsters destroy him? A bold new direction for the Armored Avenger begins. Collect Superior Iron Man number 1 through 5. We've also got Vision, Yesterday and Tomorrow trade paperback, new printing. The android Avenger goes solo. His memories downloaded and stolen, a partially amnesiac Vision must seek help from the reluctant granddaughter of his creator, Professor Phineas T. Horton, to defeat a technological terror programmed by the Nazis during World War II to cause fear and death from the skies. Created using technology stolen from Professor Horton, the newly escaped gremlin will not be denied its mission in the present day, even if it must reprogram and erase the Vision's very humanity in the process. Jeff Johns and Ivan Rice team up to bring you the terrifying tale of technology run amok. Plus the spooky Synthesoid's fantastic first appearance as Ultron sends him to destroy the Avengers. Collects Vision number 1 through 4 and Avengers number 57. And we've got Wolverines Volume 1, Dancing with the Devil trade paperback. From the pages of Death of Wolverine, Logan may be dead, but what will happen to his mortal remains encased in adamantium? The battle for control of this valuable artifact has begun. Death is on the books for a dozen heroes and villains, and Mystique is playing chess with them all. As Sinister strikes, Daken lies crippled, and death looms for Shogun's Weapon X crew. Only Wolverine's legacy, X-23, Sabretooth, Mystique, and Lady Deathstrike can save them all, but none of them can be trusted. Then introducing Phantomile, the world's most unstoppable thief, engineered to perfection. But will she be destroyed by a nightmarish monster before the Wolverines can recruit her? And surprises lay in store when the Wolverines assault Mr. Sinister's fortress. Sinister has plans for Logan's body, but how are the Amazing X-Men involved? Collects Wolverines number 1 through 5. Alright, so that's it for Marvel this week, but there's still plenty of other books out as well, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com to see both the DC and Indies videos for this week, as well as my featured video with the usual roundup of all my favorites for the week, with a little more depth and insight than you get here. And if you like these videos, be sure to let me know by leaving a comment and subscribing. You can also follow He's Got Issues on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, and Instagram to see everything I'm reading as I read it. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.